One. All right, folks, welcome back to Kings of Opinion. Less than 10 days away from Christmas, and this is episode 129. Wander, say hello.
Hope everyone's feeling merry. Thanks for stopping by.
So, a lot of craziness so far with the sports, but I want to tell you something, dude. I have been in the kitchen for the last, I want to say 2 weeks straight, making these delicious rainbow cookies.
Famous rainbow cookies.
Yeah, well, I want to get the title world famous at some point. I don't know how to do that, but these things, like if you can't mass produce them like a bakery, have to be the biggest tedious pain in the butts to make ever. Like, don't get me wrong, it's extremely easy to make these cookies. It just takes forever.
A time-consuming process.
It's an adventure. Not even a process, an adventure, dude. But I know everyone likes them, so I try to make as many as I can before Christmas so that everyone has them for the holidays. And this year I'm lucky enough to have a little bit more time, thankfully, because of my injury. So, and it gives me at least something to do, which is what I'm also grateful for, because I'm just literally sitting at home, probably eating way too much, and just not doing anything. So besides watching TV shows and movies, which we'll talk about, later on in the show, I get to make these cookies all day and all night.
How many have you made so
far? Good educated guess. This is the 20th batch that I did the other day.
That's a lot.
Yeah. I took today off, at least the morning hours in the afternoon.
A little breather.
Yeah, because my, I don't have like a bakery, right?
Right,
So
right.
I don't have things where I have a stool I can sit on or this, so I have to use what I have here. And it's just literally destroying my back. You know what I mean? Because I try and make them look as good as they possibly can for a cookie, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I really try to melt the chocolate really well, and then if it's too melted, it doesn't spread right. So it's just tedious things after tedious things dealing with these cookies. But
a lot of detail.
Yeah. But thankfully I'm hoping I'm almost done. I still got a lot of drop-offs or pickups. I don't know people are probably gonna have to come here and pick them up, to be fair, but got a lot to deliver still, so we'll see what happens. Now, getting to the little bit of baseball news that I have before we just jump right into football, I see that the Yankees made a signing the other day.
Okay.
They're bringing back Ahmed Rosario on a 1-year deal for $2.5 million.
Huh.
Not too bad. I mean, I feel like they should have done that anyway, so they got that out of the way. I haven't heard anything else on their plans or what they're trying to do, and believe me, I am listening, and just nothing happened. There's actually more excitement with the Mets, only because they lost so many people, and they just have to assume that Stearns is going to make some more moves to fill up his roster because Steve Cohen has all this money. So there's tons of names circling around them. Not so many names on the Yankees front, so a little worried about all that stuff. But we'll see. Did the Mets sign anyone that you've heard of? I could have swore I saw this.
Did they sign a first baseman?
No, not that I know.
From Seattle.
Oh, that's right, Jorge Polanco.
Right.
But he's not technically a first baseman, though.
He's not.
I mean, I think they're going to try him out in spring training, I would assume, at first base.
Mm-hmm.
And right now they have no first baseman, so that makes sense. But he's only played one game at first base in his whole career.
Oh, wow.
He's actually, it's funny, I totally forgot that they signed him because I was researching him a lot. And he was actually really good with the Mariners last year. And you paid him a sizable raise for income the next 2 years of $20 million per year. I tell you what, Stearns loves these little short-term deals, huh? Because he pays a little bit more up front, but he got his guy for 2 years, and then he can move on because he was only making $7.5 million with the Mariners. And he's got some good numbers, so if he could work for them at first base, good for them. It's not a bad signing. What do you think of the deal so far? Do you think it's enough so far?
I mean, I'm just glad they did something, I guess. Hopefully, they can get some pitching. I guess we'll see.
Yeah, it seems to me like both New York teams are just sitting back and waiting right now, which is a little weird for me because we're so used to them making moves. I know Soto signed right around Christmas time. I want to say it was right at Christmas too. I don't know if they're gonna do something like that this year for the Mets and or for the Yankees, but Yankees are normally pretty aggressive during the winter meetings, and I heard some Cashman thoughts, and he's like, "There's just no deals to be made right now." And I'm like, "All right, I guess after all this time, you're just gonna sit back and wait. There's nothing really we could do as fans about it, and just hope and pray that they do enough this year to." Have a good season next year, especially with the Yankees. Like 2/3 of their rotation isn't coming back. I mean, even though we got good news that Rodon expects to return in early 2026, but that's still like April, May. That's a whole month to 2 months of the season missed. Even if it like early 2026, even if you think April, end of April, beginning of May, you're missing around 30 games, which is I guess you could get by with just missing a month, but then you always gotta keep in mind with pitchers, like it takes them time to ramp up, it takes them time to get sharp.
Right.
So even if you only miss him for a month, is it really 2 months? Because he needs 4 or 5 starts to get under his belt. It's also still kind of chilly. You're not in the summer yet. So
Yeah, a little different than an everyday player.
Right. And. Even with the everyday player, you got, Volpe's not coming back for a little while too. So Yankees got a lot of question marks, just like the Mets. Nothing's being done right now, so it's whatever. So, we'll see where that goes from here on out. Hopefully, we could get some good news for Christmas, maybe. I don't know. You know what I mean? So we'll see how that rolls. Football, how did we do on... How did we do this week?
I watched, pretty much the local games, I guess you would say. Jets, really not much there. Trevor.
Thank God, at least.
Trevor Lawrence, I think, threw 4 touchdowns had 4 touchdowns in the first half or something.
So I'm assuming you shut them off after halftime and went on to another game.
Right. And,
Got it.
And then I was watching a bit of the Giants. They were playing Washington. Washington seemed to take over towards the end. And then highlights of the other stuff. Trying to think. I can't really think of any. What were the big games at 1 o'clock?
So you had the Chargers-Chiefs game. That was interesting.
All right, the Chiefs are out now.
Yeah, man. So they were one of the first teams to get eliminated this week.
Mahomes went down.
Yeah, exactly. So that was a big game. Mahomes went down. He has a torn ACL. He won't be back for at least 9 months, which pretty much puts you, August-ish. So he could, all things go smoothly, be back for next season. We'll see, how that, works with him. This is his first really big injury where he's going to be out a long time. That game was a weird one to me because I was at Fallon's. I was watching that game because I wanted to see. I kind of, like I say every week, I do the picks with the spreads
right.
on the Sleeper app, and it's really easy, man. So I just pick it, whatever. They make it almost dummy proof. I know some people have trouble knowing the spread sometimes, if they're plus 3.5 or minus 3.5. So that they actually just even tell you you got to win by 4 or you got to come within 4. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's nice and easy for people to get. But I bet the Chiefs on this one, thinking that they beat the Chargers at home, and in the beginning it looked like it was going to be that way because the Chargers looked like they had nothing on offense, which has been their problem since they lost their offensive lineman. Was it Joe Alt, I think it is?
Right.
And they haven't been the same without him, but very boring game, but the Chargers wind up winning this game 16-13. Besides the little bit of excitement with, God forbid, the Patrick Mahomes injury, you don't want to see that, right? But, that was the biggest news out of this game for sure. And then that they got eliminated. And they were the first team this weekend to get eliminated. There's a few other teams, I think, that got eliminated from contention. Like the Dolphins from last night, they needed to win to stay in. They lost to the Steelers, which was a good game for the Steelers. Since we were just talking about the Dolphins, I think that Dolphins looked good on defense early on, but couldn't get the offense going really much at all besides Etienne running and catching and doing what he's really good at doing. And then the Steelers on 4 straight drives scored touchdowns, and then once they did, they kind of, that was like towards the end of the third quarter, they kind of put the game away. And then, when the Steelers have a decent lead, and I think at the time it was 28-9. Yeah, it was 28-9. They just run the ball. They don't even care if they get a first. Like, even if it's like 3rd and 10, they'll run the ball again and just milk that 40 seconds off and then, punt the ball. And that's basically what they did the entire fourth quarter. And, Miami came back a little bit and scored a touchdown, but, and had a chance with the onside kick for a minute, but the Steelers recovered, and that was the end of the game for them last night. And that game was sad for me because I had DK Metcalf going against Etienne and Waddle, and Etienne and Waddle weren't doing too much until the game was out of reach, and then they were just throwing the ball. I was winning by 4 in my fantasy for the playoffs. I think it was like 111, 105, and then I was winning 125, 122 with like 4 or 5 minutes left in the game. I'm like, oh my God, I was projected to lose by like 20-something points. I might actually win this. But then, Tua has to throw to Etienne a couple times, throws the ball to Waddle. I wound up losing by 2 points. Oh, I know, it was misery. Yeah, and you remember those days, right? Oh, yeah. And the messed up part is I have nobody to blame but myself because my team was so injured this whole season that I put Omari and Hampton in. And even though I know Kansas City had a good rush defense, I still put him in over Adonai Mitchell, who's the Jets wide receiver. And he did absolutely nothing for me in that game because it was basically like, for the most part, a field goal game. And on my bench was 17.4 points. So if I would have... I kept going back and forth throughout the week. Like, do I start... I actually had Adonai Mitchell in the beginning, but then I'm like, the Jets have this rookie quarterback playing. Like, how good are they going to be throwing the ball? So I took him out for Hampton. And it winds up burning me because the difference was 10 points. And those 10 points would have got me the win by 7. So it's really, I guess, all on my shoulders as the manager. I didn't make the right call this week. So
it's tough.
However, though, on the other side of the fantasy football tree, I was in another playoff game.
Okay.
And I was also projected to lose in that game, but I wound up smoking Paulie.
Nice.
His team didn't show up because Dallas didn't show up.
Okay.
And we'll talk about that right now since we mentioned the Cowboys. They were set to, win this game against the Vikings on Sunday night. They had everything going for them, great matchups for a lot of their guys. And really the only one that showed up was the running back, which is who I had, which is Javonte Williams. He scored the touchdown, or one of the touchdowns. And, did all right. I think he averaged around 15 to 16 points for the week. But other than that, the Cowboys looked flat. It looked like Pickens was disinterested again. He wasn't the same guy the last couple weeks for whatever reasons. And the Vikings had J.J. McCarthy had a nice little comeback at the end of the game to win and stun the Cowboys at home to win 34-26. I know we talked earlier, you didn't get to see any of the game, but, that's a game that if you want to make the playoffs, you have to win that Sunday night game.
Yeah, that's a big one.
And they just did not. So, shame on them, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, because they were, on the outside looking in, going into that. So, now it's just, you fall back a little further.
Yeah, and they're not mathematically eliminated from the playoffs yet, which is
they're
a good thing.
They were in the hunt.
Right.
Going into the game.
Right, and they still could make the playoffs. It's not like the other teams that we just talked about that are actually eliminated from the playoffs this week. But it's a tough road because, Philly actually just shut out the Raiders. So you wanted the Eagles to lose that game, which I know it's a tough sell. You're playing the Raiders, they suck. But, you had to at least keep pace with them,
Right.
and they didn't do it.
No.
So that was kind of awful. You talked about the Giants Commanders game. I didn't watch too much of this, but to me, every time I looked up, the Commanders were just moving the ball,
Right.
running it, doing whatever they had to do. So, nothing crazy there. I think the best game of the week was the Bills-Patriots game. Did you catch any of that stuff?
I saw some of the highlights.
I think it was a 1:00 game too, right?
Yeah, I saw that the Patriots were out to a big lead early, but the Bills came back again, like they seem to be doing in the later part of the season.
Yeah, for sure, dude. Yeah, they were up 21-0 even before the half, and then I think at the half it was 24-7, and the Bills came all the way back, and it took them literally the entire game. So, yeah, that was such a fun game because it looked like the Patriots were just going to beat them again this year because they beat them earlier on in Buffalo, and now they're in New England, and they wound up losing that game with literally a minute. I think it was like a minute left in the game. Yeah. Falcons upset the Buccaneers, which I don't know what's going on with Baker Mayfield and the crew. Like, he has so many weapons. I don't know how they lost this game by one. It was a field goal with seconds left to win, and the Falcons wound up beating them. That probably, if you're still in a survivor pool, that probably could have been a game that if you picked, you're probably pissed off about right now. You know what I mean?
Right.
Other than that, I think the worst game was the Ravens-Bengals games. Joe Burrow had nothing going on, and I heard some of his after the game comments, and it almost looks like he just doesn't want to be a Bengal anymore.
Wow.
Yeah, he didn't come out and say it, obviously, but I'll tell you this much right now. If he wants to be traded, I know it's going from one bad team to another, but I would trade all my first-round picks for Joe Burrow today. You know what I mean? Not to say that the Jets' defense is any better than the Bengals at this point, because like you just said earlier, Trevor Lawrence threw 4 touchdowns in just the first half against the Jets.
Right.
But maybe you could sell him on like, hey man, like you come over here, we're gonna change the culture. We're usually pretty good at defense, just not this year. Maybe we'll get him next year. You know what I mean? I don't know. But I'm just being a Jet fan at this point and hoping for the best on that.
Right.
You know what I mean? But do I think it's really gonna happen? Probably not. Because if the Bengals lose him, they have nobody really else on the team. Well, you have Jamar Chase, obviously, but don't you think that situation would be kind of similar to the Aaron Rodgers / Alan Lazard or Devontae Adams thing,
Right.
where like he's gonna eventually want to bring him over, and now you're gonna have a high-paying quarterback and a high-paying wide receiver on top of Garrett Wilson, which. If you got Jamar Chase, you'd probably trade Garrett Wilson, which would suck. But, there's just a lot of moving parts. I don't really think it's going to happen. It's just wishful thinking on my part. Maybe, before the draft, they could get that kind of deal done. I don't know. Texans beat the Cardinals nice and easy. We knew that was going to happen.
Texans continue to roll late.
Yeah, man. Devang was actually there at that game in Houston because he has work down there. And he said, Texans played great. The stadium's so-so. So, what else are you going to say about them? They've been playing really good football for probably, the last 2 months now?
Yeah. Good defense.
I feel like the more I watch them, they probably have the best defense in the league. Like, I don't care what the numbers say. Maybe the numbers do have them as number one. I haven't checked. But from the eye test,
right.
Their defense looks phenomenal. I guess I got 2 more games to talk about, and then we'll wrap this NFL thing up in a nice little bow. Well, actually 3 now, because now I see we have to talk about the Seahawks-Colts game.
Of course. I mean, they were talking about that one all week leading up to it.
Right. And
the quarterback change.
Oh, yeah. And I was wearing a Phillip Rivers Chargers jersey on Sunday.
No shit.
Yeah, man. I was so stoked to see like what he would do and how embarrassing it would be, if it would even be embarrassing. Because,
it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a really long time. It's not like Tom Brady played 20-something years, and just never retired. Like, this guy retired for 4 years, basically. And then he was like a head coach at a high school, and they just call him up. And so I was paying attention to this game as much as I could for the 4 o'clock games. And it was a nail biter. 18-16 the Seahawks won. It was an all field goals game. And Phillip Rivers didn't, don't get me wrong, he didn't put up Phillip Rivers numbers from 4 years ago. You know what I mean? But, he looked competent. And you got to remember, too, he was signed on Wednesday, had to play on Sunday. So he had 4 days to learn whatever he could from the playbook and then just go with it. And then, whatever. So he had 120 or 30 yards passing. But he didn't look bad, in the grand scheme of things. So, kudos to him for coming back. He's going to play again this week. So, 66 completion percentage. 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 120 yards. So, nothing crazy. Kind of almost like when you're a rookie quarterback just for starting the first time. Then from there, you had the Saints-Panthers. I don't know how the Saints won this game. I don't know if you saw any of the highlights.
I did not.
I'm assuming that since they won by 3 points, maybe they kicked the last minute field goal or something like that and held on. But here we go, the Mr. Jekyll and Dr. Hyde kind of thing with the Panthers on the road. Not as good as they are when they're at home. You had that. And then finally, last but not least, because I like rooting for the Lions-Rams. This game looked a lot closer. It was 41-34. The Rams won, pulled this out. They were at home. Some guys put on a show. We just saw before on the TV that Devontae Adams, I think, injured his groin, if I'm not mistaken. Either that or his hamstring. So we don't know if he's playing this week. But this was like a topsy-turvy game, too. Back and forth. Guys scoring all over the place. You may see this again in the playoffs. You may not, but I'm hoping that both teams make the playoffs. Right now, it's, to me, the top of the NFC is the Seahawks and the Rams. I think they're both 11-3, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see real quick.
Oh, I did catch some of the
Yep.
I forgot to mention.
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
did catch some of the Broncos-Packers game.
What'd you think of that game?
It was, exciting, I guess. Packers were, I think, winning early, but then, the Broncos came back. And, the Packers had a couple chances at the end, but, just couldn't get it done.
Broncos are another team that has a really good defense, so I get it. And I feel like whenever the Broncos are losing in the fourth quarter, Bo Nix steps it up. He might not be the fantasy quarterback that I drafted, that I wanted, that would put up 20-something, 30-something points every week. He's not that guy, at least not yet. And he hasn't been a consistent quarterback throughout the year. But you watched him a few different times in these tight games, and he just wins these games. He's on the winning side of these games. Whether he's losing and then brings them back, or whether he's just winning and keeps the momentum going, and just
tested,
and just keeps them from losing that game. It's impressive. And so, like I said, sometimes it's because of that defense puts up goose eggs when teams are driving down. They find a way to get a turnover, or they find a way to go get them over on downs. Because it seems like to me a lot of these games now, guys are going for fourth down and 3, 4, and 5, a lot more now than they ever have in the history of the league. Because they don't even do it they do it in the second quarter now. Sometimes even the first. I know the Lions do it whenever the hell they want. I don't know why they do that.
Right.
But a lot of teams are starting to, I guess, develop that philosophy where if we're at the 50-yard line, and we were gonna punt it, it's only a difference of 15 yards. Let's see if we get this first down and just deal with it and put it on the defense. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, you know.
Oh, and with that loss, I think the Bears jumped back into first place.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, with the loss for the Packers.
Oh, for the Packers?
Yeah.
Yes, they did. I forgot who the Bears played this week, but they won convincingly.
Yeah, they won easily, I believe.
Yeah, I didn't talk about them because I didn't watch
it
them much.
The Browns?
Yes, it was the Browns. Good call. Yeah, because I didn't really see much of that game. There was just too many other games going on.
Right.
And where I was sitting at Fallon's was the Bears game was right above my head.
I see.
So
not the most competitive game either.
No, I think I'm trying to get the score, but it's not working for me right now. So whatever. But yeah, I think they led the whole game, whatever it was. And then we got what we're on for as far as fantasy football is concerned. The semifinals this week. It's week 16, so there's a few big matchups this coming week too, right? I think the Rams. Yeah, here we go. Starting Thursday, the Rams and Seahawks.
Oh, that's a good one.
For a Thursday game, I'm not. I thought I was listening to the radio and they said they were like pumping up this game. I think it's the first time two teams with 11 wins plays on a Thursday night.
Wow.
Yeah, so this game could be, one of those dogfights, slugs fest, whatever you want to call it. I'm definitely excited to watch this game Thursday night. And then you just talked about both these teams. They're playing this week. Bears versus Green Bay at Soldier Field.
The rematch, yeah.
Yeah, so if Green Bay wins this game, they're once again in first place. So we'll see how that goes. Other than that, my friend's going to New Orleans to see the Jets lose to the New Orleans Saints. So
not the sexiest of matchups.
No, I wish him the best of luck, but he's probably going there more for the food and the gambling.
Right.
So I think the game is just,
Yeah, New Orleans is a good time.
Yeah, 100%. Great time, as a matter of fact. I've been down there many years ago. It was great. Right before I think the Saints were in the Super Bowl, as a matter of fact, or at least hosted the Super Bowl. Because I remember going there and they put up all this Super Bowl stuff like 2-3 weeks in advance of the Super Bowl, and I started seeing all that stuff, and it was pretty cool. I'm gonna wait till next week if we do have a show. I know next week is Christmas, so hopefully we can get a Tuesday show in before. I think Christmas is Thursday?
Yeah.
And then so Christmas Eve is Wednesday. So hopefully we can get that in. But there's a lot of games this coming week that if people lose or win can totally jumble up this playoff picture. So I didn't get to looking at all these different scenarios yet, but I will for next week just to give us a little bit of a picture, because next week is probably one of the bigger weeks right before obviously the last 2 weeks of the season where, you got to win out or else you're probably not making the playoffs.
Right.
So, yeah, with that, football's done. The Knicks tonight, real quick, they play, I guess it's the Spurs tonight for the Cup Championship.
Yep.
We're putting it's right on the TV right now, as a matter of fact. So, I mean, the Knicks just better win. I mean, I know it's not the NBA Finals, and I get it, but, just win something, right?
Hopefully they can get it done.
Right, because I as of right now, I don't think anyone is going to beat OKC. They only have one loss right now, unless they lost a game in the last 2 or 3 days, because when I checked, they were like 20-something and 1. So, unless a miracle happens, I don't think they're going to win that. So you might as well win this cup. And listen, all you're really going to get is a banner in Madison Square Garden, maybe a couple extra bucks, and a that-a-boy, and, move on to the next game,
Right.
Other than that, please tell me, I know it's Tuesday, I hope you saw yesterday. I saw it twice. I had to. Welcome to Derry.
Of course.
Talk to me about it, my man.
Yeah, I thought it was a great finale. I think it was like an hour and 17 minutes, something like that.
Close to it, yeah.
As soon as it started, things were already going pretty bad. It was, just the girls left, and I thought it was good.
I know you're trying not to ruin a lot of stuff because it's only been 2 days,
Right.
and I'm fighting it too because as you're talking about it, I'm trying to think of ways to not spoil it, but it's very hard not to spoil it. So I'm hoping we could talk more about this next week.
Okay.
As well. Hopefully maybe Ernie's around too because I really want to know if he saw it too.
Mm-hmm.
He should have, or at least I hope by next week he does.
Yeah.
And like I said, whoever does watch, I don't want to ruin it for them. But it was an amazing season finale.
Yeah, I thought, and they started it off too with the school. That part was great.
Bro, that was crazy.
Yeah, and with the whole military thing, that was I'm still kind of foggy, I guess, about the whole fog. Like I didn't really get that. But yeah, a lot happened, and I thought they did it. I thought the season overall was just well done. Probably my favorite thing I've watched this year.
Yeah.
And I thought they
until Stranger Things
wrapped it up pretty good.
Yeah.
I also liked the the little scene at the end.
Yes.
Tie in to the movie.
Yep.
Thought that was good. And also, how they explain like the timelines and stuff. Yeah, I guess that was kind of unexpected too. Is when Pennywise actually starts talking about time and stuff.
A lot of rumors about that.
Yeah. I'm sure there's a lot of speculation regarding that.
Yeah, they've actually answered some of it already because everyone, and this has only been 2 days. I've read a ton of stuff on Instagram about it. That the show producers or whatever, or the directors were talking about it. The Mist, I think I can explain to you without ruining anything.
Okay.
But basically, The Mist was him being released. Because remember, he was kind of in that cage around Derry.
Right.
And I don't know if it happened in this episode or the episode before.
Mm-hmm.
They took, I think it was the episode before, they took the pillar out.
Right.
Which broke the cycle.
Right.
So then, right from the beginning of the episode, when the mist is coming through,
the cage is open pretty much.
Pretty much, like that was like. What I want to know is it the same mist from Stephen King's The Mist, right? Wouldn't that be wild?
Also a great film.
Agreed. So like, was that like just an Easter egg for that, or was that just they just wanted to do something to make it look a little bit better and make it a little darker and everything like that? The end to me was insane.
Also.
Yeah, I want to talk. I can't. Go ahead.
Also, Halloran going into his head and stuff. That was cool. I thought
that was
cool.
Super dope. The fact that you were able to trick Pennywise was amazing to me.
Right.
That's one of the reasons why I had to watch it twice, because the first time I kind of fell asleep on the couch. I was exhausted from watching football all day, and I had a full belly of wings and everything else in me, and I didn't remember. Not a lot of stuff, a few things. So I was like, you know what? I have to rewatch this.
Right.
So I rewatched it last night, and I didn't remember that part. I remember him being frozen on the ice, but then I didn't remember what happened after that. So I don't know if I conked out or just didn't pay attention or didn't remember. So I was glad I rewatched it for that, and then just to rewatch the end again was so great. And the end credit scene was great. They're going to come out with season 2. Hopefully it's next year. And you're spot on. Best show right now of 2025 is it. The only thing that can knock it off, because you still have 4 episodes left, is Stranger Things.
Right.
And the way they're selling Stranger Things, the next 4 episodes are supposed to be crazy. It has a chance, but it was very well done. For whatever reason, HBO Max has a lot of good shows on there on there that are really well done.
Right.
So good for HBO Max. What else did you watch?
Oh, right. I watched a few things.
Good.
I finished Landman season 1. I like that. It's a good show.
Very good.
Definitely looking forward to the next season.
It's out already, so good luck. Enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's on Prime, but I'll have to see.
We'll check it out.
What else? Oh, I watched a couple of movies. Well, a movie and a documentary, I guess you could say.
Okay.
I watched The Phoenician Scheme. I liked it. I thought it was good.
What's that about? That's the movie.
The new Wes Anderson movie. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. Good cast.
Is it long?
No, I can't remember, to be honest with you. I'm guessing it was probably like 2 hours.
Okay, so it's not bad.
Yeah, so I enjoyed that.
Is it like a horror?
No. I'm trying to think what would you have seen by that director? What's his name?
You know who I'm thinking of right now? Why I said horror? Wes Craven.
No.
I don't know why. I don't know who.
No.
I'm sure I watched something by Wes Anderson, but
it's different. It's like different.
And what's that on?
That's on
Prime?
Prime.
Okay.
What else? Oh, and then I watched a Jeff Buckley documentary. He was a musician. He was a rock musician, guitar player, singer. That was good. I thought it was well done. It was on HBO. They do a lot of good, music stuff. So I enjoyed that. And did I watch anything else? I mean, I'm back on The Last Frontier. I think I'm only like 3 or 4 episodes in, but I'm liking that. And I'm current with Pluribus too. Still not really sure
what's going on.
But still watching.
Hey, listen. As long as you stay strong, I'm waiting for you to finish Pluribus because that's on Apple TV, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because they're another group that has a lot of good shows on there. So, I tend to look at those. I tried starting the Jason Momoa TV show.
What's that? Oh, the blonde where he's blind?
No, I saw that a long time. That show is insane.
Yeah.
So that's why I was giving this a chance.
I only watched the first season of that one.
Yeah, I think there was only 2, if I'm not mistaken.
What's the new one?
It's called Chief of War.
Oh, right. Okay.
So that's like about Hawaii, like back in the day or something like that. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't get through the first episode because normally I do this while I'm working out, and there's a lot of subtitles.
Oh, that's usually not your thing.
Yeah, no, because when you're moving and like you're walking or you can't, like the writing is so small, like I don't see it as well as I used to, so I need to watch it on a bigger TV. Mm-hmm. So I was gonna watch it here, and I think it's only 8 or 9 episodes, so I'm hoping to watch that in the next week or so because it looks interesting. And the last show he did, which was the show you just talked about, where he was blind, and I forget what it was even called.
I totally forget.
Yeah, because it's been a while, but I wanted to give it a chance because he was really good in that other show.
Right.
So I was like, okay, let me check it out, and it didn't wind up working out, at least not yet. I have been watching a lot of Christmas stuff.
Okay.
I literally just keep watching National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation almost like every other day.
I think that's my sister's favorite.
Yeah, I mean, if it's not my favorite, I find it hard to believe there's another one that beats it really that I can think of right now, like maybe Elf. But to me, I grew up on Christmas Vacation, so that's like my number 1 comedy Christmas movie.
Right.
And then I saw I think it came out on Prime, as a matter of fact, either that or one of the other streaming services. It's the Michelle Pfeiffer movie that's a Christmas movie.
Okay.
Oh, What Fun. You can leave it.
Okay.
Yeah, you can leave it.
Yeah, I wasn't
like
Doesn't really look
it was
like
just
that.
like really set in Christmas time, and then it was just a family story. It had really not much to do with Christmas besides it just being Christmas time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like a lot of the stuff, can, if as long as it's Christmas themed, they can, disguise it as whatever they want. I guess. Right?
Yeah, exactly. So I got duped into that one, and I was just like, all right. And Michelle Pfeiffer is a big name, and there were some other people in there that we would know from other movies. That girl from Kick-Ass is in there.
Oh, okay.
And some other people. I don't remember their names. So then when I was on the Fire Stick, I'm looking around, and I came up on this 2017 movie out of nowhere. It's called All Nighter, but it's the guy J.K. Simmons is in it.
Okay.
So I was like, you know what? I have nothing to watch. Let me give this a try and see what happens. And it wasn't bad. It was on Prime, actually, as a matter of fact. I found it. So you could watch it on Prime. It's like a buddy comedy. I don't want to ruin too much, but his daughter's like ex. They broke up. So J.K. Simmons is the father, and apparently he's like a CIA agent or something like that, or does something like that, and he's trying to find his daughter, and the whole movie's about that. So they get into all these little shenanigans. It's like it's a quick, like hour and a half movie, nothing crazy.
Okay.
But I like J.K. Simmons, and he's pretty good in that.
Did you ever see the movie that he won for?
Which one was that?
Whiplash.
No.
Oh, you should check that out if you like him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check that out. I'm gonna write that in my notes. Whiplash.
Yep.
Got it. I'm gonna watch it. That I'll watch and I'll report back to you next week, buddy.
Hope you enjoy it.
Yeah. Other than that, I was watching the Challenge on MTV. It's the only reality TV show I watch.
Okay.
Only because it's like just a crazy, winner take all challenge every week competition kind of thing.
Right.
And it's just funny to me, like some of the stuff that these kids and older men, like some of these guys are my age doing this still. They were doing it for like 20 years, like they made a career out of it.
Yeah.
Like you think Tom Brady's crazy. These guys are running into each other, doing all these crazy stunts or whatever. But I finally, I never really talked about that show, and I want to give it its props because it's been on for 40-something seasons.
Wow.
Which they do put out a couple seasons a year.
Right.
So it's not like it's been on for 40 years, but it's been on for like 20-something years right now.
Wow.
So, that's always a good show if I wouldn't expect, that's something that you would never watch, or Ernie, but there are people out there that watch some of like
I know what it
stuff.
It's on MTV.
Yeah. And you get on demand and everything like that. The other show I just started, and I think you would like this one. I just don't know. I might have to give you my AMC Plus passcode or something like that. It's called The Agency. It's actually...
It sounds familiar.
Yeah, it's with, Richard Gere and Michael Fassbender.
Oh, yeah, I think it's on Showtime, isn't it?
Yeah, you might be right. I might have the thing wrong. It might not be AMC at all. It might be Paramount Plus, which is where I saw it. But I'm halfway through it, and it's a CIA show.
Right.
And there's just a lot going on. I don't know if you've seen
I
it.
think I watched like the first episode.
Oh, it didn't take for you?
I mean, I think I might have forgot about it.
Yeah. I could see how you would do that, no, honestly, because the first episode, I was like...
It didn't grab you.
But then, like, someone was so, like, into it that told me about it. I'm like...
And then it gets better.
I was like, yeah, it gets much better. And I was like, the only reason why I gave it a second chance is because I'm waiting for Mayors of Kingstown to finish up this week so I could just roll through that. And then there was another show I wanted to start too. I think it was one of your shows.
Landman?
No, Landman's still not till like January or something like that. So I hate, what the worst part is I hate binge watching almost to the end, and then I have another episode or two to wait.
I see.
So like wait 2 weeks. I hate that. So I'll literally just wait till they finish and try and find something else in this.
Oh, Robinhood.
Yes.
I forgot about
Thank you. That was the show, dude.
I completely
That was the show.
Yeah, I'm still watching that too. It's good. And you know what I like about that one? They put the episode out. I don't know. I don't know if it's Sunday morning or Saturday, but they put the new episode out, you don't have to wait till Sunday night. So
Okay.
I kind of like that.
Yeah, so you can watch at like 6, 7 o'clock and you're good to go.
Right.
Dope. Awesome. I think that's all I got from my shows.
All right.
Yeah, the agency was one I really wanted to talk about, and then we got sidetracked. But yeah, that's all I got. You go.
Yeah. Just one musical selection as usual this week. We're going with Damo Genesis with Scram. So that's the pick for this week.
Awesome. All right, folks. Well, hopefully we'll see you next week. If not, just in case, have a great holiday season. We should see you before New Year's, but once again, just in case we don't, have a good New Year's as well. And good luck to anyone that's in the fantasy football playoffs.
We'll see you in the next cartoon.
Later, folks.